Recording. So, alright. Okay. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
I'm here with Leap, also known as Leapfrog Pocho, and I'm about to interview him on his views on Exit, I guess. So, first question: who are you? Can you tell us about yourself a little bit?
Well, as I was introduced so well already, but I'm Leapfrog Pocho. My real name is Robin. I live
Mm.
in the Netherlands. Other games I like to play besides fighting games and Xrd are the Ueda games, Eco, Shadow of the Colossus, The Last Guardian, and also Dark Souls. It's one of my all-time favorites. I entered fighting games around the Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition era.
Mm.
Messed around a little bit, and then because I felt that I was into fighting games, but I haven't really found my one true love. And then there was Xrd,
Yeah.
and yeah, besides that, I work in retail. Yeah, I don't have much offline experience because COVID. But yeah, I'm basically like the online warrior. People always say you're mad active, like I'm basically on multiple days prowling the EU lobbies, and yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. So, that perfectly leads into the second question. You already mentioned that you got into fighting games via Street Fighter 4, and then you found Exit as your one true love. You mind telling us how and when you got into Guilty Gear, like more into like in more detail?
Well, basically, it was around the sign, like era. So when
Hmm.
it just released, I just think it like randomly appeared on my radar. Maybe it was like my my YouTube recommended. I mean, I
Hmm.
can't even remember the exact like specifics of how I found it, but yeah, just the combination of the visuals and the music just instantly grabbed me. No pun intended. And yeah, it just went on from there. I was just like, hell yeah, I'm buying this. And
Hmm.
yeah, around sign era I entered. So I'm not like an old head. I didn't enter Guilty Gear. I haven't been playing Guilty Gear for 20 years or entered when Accent Core was just released or anything. So compared to maybe some other Guilty Gear players that are around, I'm still relatively new.
Yeah. So, you already mentioned how the music and the visuals instantly grabbed you. So that perfectly actually leads into the next question of what is your favorite aspect of the game outside of gameplay?
Well, yeah, exactly where to begin. First of all, the music. It's a running gag that when you buy XR, you buy a soundtrack with a bonus game. And yeah, that's pretty appropriate because the music is just top tier. And it wasn't really that I was that much into like rock or metal beforehand, but just the spirit and the energy of the music synced up so perfectly with what was happening on screen. And
Hmm.
that combination, I think there's also like a term for that. When you match up visual flow exactly with how the music is. And yeah,
Yeah.
when those moments hit in XArt, I was like, yeah, uh, point of no return, definitely. So yeah, the music and the visuals are the obvious answer. Besides that, the character design, definitely. So outspoken, so different. Every character has its own thing. Also gameplay wise, of course, but just
Yeah.
visually. Um, Visually, they're so distinct. You can just by their silhouettes alone, you could definitely just name the entire cast.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That
yeah,
that's amazing. Something I find very interesting about the visual design of the game is that a lot of characters actually wear like in-universe like clothing brands. Like some characters actually wear similar clothes and they wear the same brand. You can actually see it if you zoom in on the models, which is really cool.
I didn't even know that, and that's fucking amazing. That's really cool. I didn't even know that. So yeah, besides that, if you're talking outside of gameplay, I think the community also definitely, if that counts,
Mm.
because you know, XR is a little bit more of like a niche. It's more of a niche game, of course, like
Mm.
delay-based anime fighters. It's been like picking up steam recently, of course, due to Strive release, and maybe got on some people's radar because of Dragon Ball Fighters, because they were like,
Mm.
this game looks sick, and what other games has Arxis made? but before that, it was even more niche. But yeah, the community is just great. You have everything you have in other communities, like artists, commentators, TOs, people who make like meme content,
Mm.
guides, etc. You have that, but I feel like because it's a little bit more niche, it's more of a tight knit community. You see the name,
Yeah.
you see the same names a lot. So
Shout out to Munchie Jr.
yeah.
All right. That's obviously a lot of very good things you got to say about the game outside of just the gameplay. The music being amazing, the visuals being fantastic, the community being great. I think you're actually the first one to actually bring up the community, which is, I think, very cool. Um, Obviously, that's what kept me playing. But so, what is your favorite aspect of the gameplay specifically then?
Well, yeah, of the gameplay. Well, first of all, I guess buttons. I like to
Mm,
press buttons. Who doesn't like to press buttons? And you get to press a lot of buttons in XR.
yeah.
That's like the basic monkey brain fulfillment that you get. Um, I think gameplay wise, that the execution, it can be quite hard. And at the start, I was, at a loss for
Mm,
certain stuff. I was like, this isn't possible. This is like bordering
yeah.
inhuman. That's how you approach it when you're actually new to fighting games in general, and you see some of the shit these people pull off. But yeah, just the execution of it, having something to work towards, like long-term goals. Let's see, in gameplay side, the mind games. I really like the mind games, and that's not particular to like XR, but I feel like with XR, mind games are a little bit more like rewarded, already with the mechanic of burst. Just the mechanic of burst creates so many situations where you
Mm,
you stack layers on top of layers. So someone is hard baiting your burst, but you didn't take it, and now you're out of the combo, and you have your burst, and the other person feels stupid.
yeah.
Yeah, mind games. That's also one of the reasons I play Potemkin, of course. But mind games is definitely one of the yeah, the key points why I like Xart, or yeah, anime fighters in general. But I think what is special to Xart is how Oki and defense works gameplay wise.
Mm,
Of course, defense, you have like the multiple aspects of instant block, faultless defense, blitz, dead angle, which all have their own uses, can all be baited, like worked around,
yeah.
and just Xart makes actively defending really fun because of all the options you have. I think besides that, momentum. Xrd is a
Momentum.
very momentum. Yeah, Xrd is a very momentum heavy game. I do some commentating sometimes, and you can really tell when someone has that momentum. And
Yeah.
really rocks with it. And that's why it isn't that uncommon to see competent players just completely wash each other. Like perfect each
Yeah.
other. Big blow ups. Yeah, that's definitely what I like.
All right. You mentioned a lot of different things that you like about the game.
hmm
Um,
It's a great game.
yeah, like you like the Oki aspect, how varied the defense game is, the momentum that you get to experience in the game. That is obviously, honestly, in my opinion, something Axis does very well in general. Um, the momentum part, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, there's so much to the mind games, obviously, because like each situation has like 4 or 5 different options you need to choose from on the fly. Um, so yeah, obviously that's a lot, but there are other games that have these things, right? Like,
hmm
so
What makes
what
it
specifically makes Exit special then, right? In your opinion, what makes Exit different from other fighting games?
Well, I didn't want to go this way, but Potemkin for me, it's that no, yeah, it's that easy.
Mm,
I have that much of a connection like with this character and how he works gameplay wise, and of course you're gonna segue this into the next question. But for me, personally, yeah, like you say, other games maybe have like different iterations of all these mechanics that I mentioned. But what makes XR different in the gameplay category for me is definitely me playing it myself is definitely
Mm.
Potemkin. I just instantly fell in love with that character and everything that he's
Mm.
about, both gameplay wise and like on the lore side and character side. So yeah, like I said, I didn't want to go this route because I'm already known as the hard stuck Potemkin main and can't shut up about Potemkin. So yeah,
No.
you forced my hand here.
I mean, you didn't see the setup coming. Now you gotta duck. Now you gotta hold that 50-50, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so obviously, as you said, I'm gonna segue that into the next question. I wonder, who is your favorite character and why?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, Potemkin, of course, always
Hmm.
Potemkin. Yeah. At the start, when I started in Sign, I tried to pick him up immediately, but
Hmm.
it didn't click because I was just so new to fighting games in general. Uh,
Yeah.
so I played Kai for a bit, like tried to understand the mechanics, and then when I was ready, and I did go to Potemkin, it just clicked. The first time I fell in love with him was definitely the first time I just hit a Potemkin Buster, and like in a
Hmm.
real match, and just how that felt, what it meant to have a 3-frame grab, like
Hmm.
I saw that tweet the other day. I think it was Rufelmonger, like, guys, a 17-frame command grab is glacial, like comparing it to Dragon Ball Fighters. So yeah, him just
Yeah.
having such a snappy and fast command grab just instantly made me want to play him. Um, Besides that, and the gameplay side of him, it's definitely the character itself. Like he never lashes out in anger. He's very like calm and collected. Maybe even some could call him like a gentle soul on the background. And
Hmm.
that the fact that one of his hobbies is drawing, I can already imagine him trying to draw with those huge fucking claws of hands that he has. But yeah, just like the duality, so to speak, of his character, like he's all like rough and raw power on the outside, but on the inside there's a little bit more going on than Monkey Brain Grappler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool. So, you mentioned how much you love the game and how much you love the character. Obviously, when you feel that strongly about something, usually it means that it has a big effect, not just on, your mood in the at the moment when you play the game, but probably also on your entire life. So, do you think Exit had a big effect on your life?
definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. Um, Before I found Xrd, like I was dabbling a little bit in fighting games, and I
Mm.
wouldn't, at that point I didn't really call myself a fighting game player yet. But yeah, that moment is far gone. I'm too deep right now. um, yeah, it definitely had a big impact on my life. It gave me something to strive for. Forgive my pun. To have like mastery in something or to work towards something, a long-term goal, so that even when stuff in your regular life feels a bit overwhelming or something, you always have that anchor, to
Yeah.
to go back to and to improve at something. Improving at something and just working towards mastery has always interested me outside of fighting games.
Mm.
um, so yeah, that aspect of it just perfectly clicked. Um, Also, on a more personal note, fighting games quite recently actually helped me like find my fire again. Find my passion, because when last year my father passed away,
Yeah.
I was like very adrift. I couldn't really find anything that was enjoyable anymore. Like everything felt kind of pointless. Nothing really brought me, like in hobby wise, nothing really brought me like joy or excitement. It was all
Yeah.
like, and of course, when you have those life shattering moments, they can put certain stuff in perspective, like make make big problems or stuff that you thought were big problems feel like small problems
Yeah.
in retrospect, because yeah, you just lost your father. Like what are you even what are you even on about? This doesn't matter. And then when I kind of processed it somewhat, of course, you never done processing something like that. Like even now that it's been a year back, I still have moments where it just catches me off guard. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's just how stuff like that works. Uh, when I did find that fire again, and I came back to the community, I just felt like so accepted and completely overwhelmed by all the reactions that I got. People
Mm.
that missed me, and like this profile picture, this PNG that's being used right now is my one and only fan art by the great Dmash, which he saved for when I returned. Like certain bot
Yeah.
players used my color. Uh, in my honor, stuff like that. People just missing me, yeah, definitely made me feel, like appreciated, and felt like, I had to step up my game again, not just for me, but like
Mm.
for the other people somewhat. And yeah, just how I was received when I came back from my hiatus just solidified my love for this game, but more so this community. And yeah, definitely helps to keep my mental state in a good place. There are people that I can just reach out to or talk to
Mm.
when I feel like it. It's yeah, definitely had a big impact, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure many people can relate to that feeling of having this wonderful place you can come back to that almost feels like home.
Yeah,
Um, I definitely feel that way about the EXA community as well, even though I'm relatively fresh blood, you know. Um,
but that's also the beauty.
yeah,
We
exactly.
welcome fresh blood so open-hearted, because it is a niche game, and we try to retain the people that join and maybe get like their asses kicked online. We'll ask them like, hey, do you want tips? Are you already on Discord, etc., etc. People are really eager to help
Yeah,
you when
yeah,
you're at the beginning levels of this game. It's really nice.
yeah. Shout out to helpful people like Squid Guy, Niffy, people just stale devil. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Stale helped me so fucking much with learning Soul. Oh my god. I need to ask him if he wants to do an interview. Anyway. um so talking about community exit, obviously in my opinion, it's exit's by far best aspect. I absolutely love the exit community. Um and obviously it's a niche game, therefore it's not the biggest community, and a lot of people feel intimidated by trying to learn Guilty Gear or getting into Exit, right? So if there was someone who wanted to try the game but is hesitating, what would you tell them?
Well, yeah, again, I would probably reiterate what I just said, that there are a lot of helpful people around who,
Mm,
are very eager to help you. There are also a lot of resources in a lot of different places. But to me personally, what I would say is, hang if you hang in there and break that wall, that plateau, this is going to be the best game you will ever play in your life. um, like it takes some investment beforehand, like any fighting game does. But I think the wall for Exart in its current state is so big because there are a lot of people online who've been playing it for a long time. Now there are more beginners because of Strive, but that it wasn't always like that. But personally, when you break that barrier, break that wall, and you feel and you can look back at your own progress, that's such a nice feeling, and it's worth investing in. So I would say just fully commit. Yeah, just go for it. What do you got to lose? Especially for the pricing that it's on right now. Like recently, you
yeah.
have no excuse to try it out. If only for the soundtrack or the visuals. You can play some single player, see if you're into it. Yeah, just go for it. You won't
Exit
regret it.
story mode is very fun.
Yeah.
It's a good story. I like it.
Also, yeah.
So we've heard you share a lot of personal stuff, you know, your love for the game, your love for Potemkin as a character, your love for the community, and I I gotta say it makes me very happy to hear stuff like that. You know, um, like you guys, like people like you are the reason why I want to do this video, right? So if you had so exit is something very special, and I feel like the best way sometimes to show people how people feel about something is to just ask them to simplify it as much as possible. So I'm gonna
Hmm.
give you this monumental task of describing exit in one sentence.
Oh yeah, that's tricky. I gotta say I had to think about this for quite a while. I was thinking, damn, this is so hard to describe in one sentence. But I think one of the things that I landed on was because of how dynamic it is. One sentence, I can't believe that just happened. That's the sentence I chose for Exart, and that's because so many dynamic situations, so many
Mm.
things that will make people scream and howl in voice chat. It's so much fun. So yeah, the dynamic nature described in that sentence, in that one sentence, that's the best I could do.
That's a fantastic answer. And to my in my opinion, there are no bad answers to this question. I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview, answer these questions, and I appreciate how open you were with your own personal life with this. That takes a lot of bravery, and as I said, I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, so obviously, you know, I can't just take. I gotta give. Where can people find you?
Well, yeah, first of all, I guess in the EU open lobbies on PC, that would be the easiest way to find me because I'm there a lot. But yeah, no, you can find me at leapfrog_pocho on Twitter. I got a Twitch, also leapfrog_pocho. Not doing much with it right now, but maybe around Strife era we'll pick that up.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can also find me on Discords, like in various servers, but my handle is again leapfrog_pocho 7559. So my DMs are open. If you have like any extra related questions, community related questions, don't be afraid to hit me up. And I guess besides self plugs, I definitely want to give some shout outs to Dawn of Revival
Hmm.
server run by the wonderful people Ant and Leah. Yeah, nice community there. Akrol, first to fives, Rygant, first to sevens, the pot court, yeah, just so many. Too much to say, so I guess I just want to shout out the whole community again. And yeah,
All right. All right. That's all I need. Great.
all right.
All right.